Hey y'all, I think I've made it somewhat obvious that I'm a scaredy cat. I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I often find myself watching movies even in the only slightly tense moments, covering my eyes and watching through my fingers. But today, I want to tell you guys about 3 movies that actually terrify me. 3 movies that I don't know that I could watch again, and I guarantee you they are not 3 movies that you would expect to be on this list. The first movie is one that I'm sure you've heard of before but might not necessarily understand why it's making this list, is Shutter Island, a Martin Scorsese movie starring Mark Ruffalo and Leonardo DiCaprio. I watched this movie not really knowing anything about it, but just knowing it was Mark Ruffalo and Leonardo DiCaprio and being sort of excited. But this movie messed me up. I'm gonna put a huge spoiler warning here because had I known that this was coming and was going to happen in the film, definitely would not have scared me as bad. So please skip ahead to the time on the screen or to the next timestamp to avoid all Shutter Island spoilers if you haven't seen it. The twist ending that this is all going on in his head and that he is the patient and that he potentially killed his wife really messed me up. Like the ending about him and his kids and his wife dying, it really messed me up. The whole premise of Shutter Island, I initially thought, I just took it as is, which is what I was supposed to do, of like 2 detectives sort of like trying to interview these people and like trying to see if they're helping patients, and then realizing that this actually was them helping a patient and that it was Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Both him and Mark Ruffalo are fantastic in this movie, and Martin Scorsese really does play up the thriller horror type elements, especially of the guy that Leonardo DiCaprio encounters in kind of like the scaffold attic area of the asylum. The twist ending just really messed me up, and afterwards I was just kind of scared. And I know this isn't one that's like necessarily a jump scare or a horror, and that's why I think some of you might be surprised that this is on the list, but I think it's honestly just the psychological stuff that really gets to me. And that leads us into our next film, which is The Gift. If you've seen The Gift or even seen a trailer, you would know that this is a very intense movie. However, again, the ending of the film is what messes you up even worse than just the movie itself. So again, spoilers for The Gift. If you have not seen The Gift, skip forward to the 3rd movie timestamp or the time that is on the screen. Thank you so much. So The Gift premise is that this married couple moves into this new house, which is, unnervingly filled with windows. Like, it's like a voyeuristic heaven, like the house that they're living in. It's creepy. First of all, they set themselves up to be vulnerable. But they are wanting to have children and kind of just start their lives. But when they're furniture shopping, they run into an old classmate of the main character, the husband, Jason Statham's character. And this old classmate is someone that was bullied pretty severely by the husband when he was in school. As they start to get to know him to make amends for his past, the bullied guy from high school starts to become a little bit more invasive, kind of becoming a little too much of their lives to where the couple feels uncomfortable. And in the end, he becomes a stalker. The single part of the movie that is the most disturbing is a video clip that Jason Statham uncovers when his wife is in the hospital giving birth, and they think the ordeal is somewhat over with. He finds a video of the guy he bullied in high school, and it is of him standing over his wife in a monkey mask, touching her in not appropriate ways and potentially insinuating that he may have been the one to impregnate her, so that the baby that Jason Statham character has so wanted for the entire movie, who he initially thought to be his son or daughter, might be the son or daughter of the man he hates most, who has ruined his family. It is just so uncomfortable. The whole movie is a horror, but the ending is really the psychological horror. It's like an Inception where it really could be either way and you just don't know, and I'm sure there's people who have strong opinions about how the film does end, but it's just sickening to think about and put yourself in the character's shoes, because I think in a lot of horror movies, I mean, for me, if I put myself in the character's shoes, I just know I'd be the first one to die, and like no one would even like think twice about me, because I would not be able to outrun the killers, I would not be able to outfight the killers, like I would just be done in a horror movie. But in this movie, it's so unnerving because everyone makes it out alive, but you're not really sure if they would be better off dead, and that is just what is so messed up about this movie. It is so well made, it is so well written, so I highly recommend you do watch it. It messed me up for probably 2 or 3 days after I saw it. Like, I genuinely was so like distraught by it. I know the night I watched it, I could not sleep. I remember that very distinctly in high school, being like, well, that was a mistake. So check out that gift. And the last one, the one that is the most embarrassing that is on this list, but I cannot lie to you and pretend that it did not terrify me. Do you want to guess what it is? I'll give you 2 seconds. The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the channel before. I am terrified of stop motion. I don't like puppets. Stop motion creeps me out. Like claymation, ooh, it does something to me and not in a good way, and it just really messes with my head, and I really, really hate it. It's unnatural, it's creepy because they're clay. I don't know what they can and can't do. Like there's no limitations, and it just messes me up. The reason I watched this film, knowing that I hate claymation, is because one year I tried to talk myself up into watching The Purge, and I watched the first 10 minutes and I was alone, and I was like, you know what, no. I'm not gonna watch this. And so I made a deal with myself that I was gonna face my fear of claymation that night and watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, because I felt like that was something that I needed to know. Like being an animation fan and being a Disney fan, most people have seen Nightmare Before Christmas, except for this one. So I watch it, and it thoroughly creeps me out. I do like the story, and I love the fact that Jack Skellington really just loves Christmas. You know all those memes where it's like you go to bed in your Halloween costume and you wake up in your Mariah Carey, like singing like All I Want for Christmas Is You. That I'm definitely that person. Like I try to hold out on Christmas as long as possible to really like give Halloween its due and not like skip ahead, but I'm definitely a Christmas person, so I definitely relate to Jack Skellington in that way. Or like I like that the movie is one foot in Halloween and one foot in Christmas. I love those kind of debates between movies of like which one it falls into. This is definitely a movie where that is applicable. But yeah, there's nothing actually like scary necessarily about this movie, although I don't like the kids. The 3, like, I don't even know what their names are, but the 3 like kind of demon kids, like one's dressed as a witch, one's kind of in a skeleton costume. I don't like them, and I don't like the Ugly Boogly Man. Cut me out. Jack himself is not scary. Sally's not really scary, although she does freak me out more. But honestly, it's just the elements of the like shifty way that like things will happen in stop motion that just I hate it so much. And so that movie terrified me in the sense that I hate claymation. Did it help my fear of claymation a little bit? Yes, but like people keep telling me that Coraline is a great movie, and every single year ever since it was released I see people talking about Coraline. I'm sorry, I don't know that I can ever do it. Like I really don't. It's just I don't think it's for me, and I'm sorry. So those 3 movies, Shutter Island, The Gift, and Nightmare Before Christmas, are the 3 movies that terrified me the most throughout my life. Let me know in the comments down below what your 3 most scared of movies are. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and are looking forward to more of my Halloween videos. Be sure to also subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos, as well as any of the other movie, television reviews, recommendations, and recaps that I do on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you in my very next video. Bye everyone.